In this video, we're building a platform, detailing and painting it based on a modular system for 3D print, adding magic finishing for the roof.
Hello and welcome to a video tutorial in which we will build platform for passengers. Yep. This topic has been previously covered. We have been cutting platforms from styrofoam. We have been cutting platforms from wood. I think even during the Martinstown series we assembled platforms from hard foam, but this time we're going to take a more traditional approach, building it from a modular kit, so we're gluing parts together, but the difference this time is that the kit is 3D printed. It's a kit, a 3D model set from Model Railroad 3D. And this has been a request for long to provide platform sets as 3D models. And this first set now, which is introduced, is called Rivets and Wood. And it's based on I would say, riveted steel pillars and with wooden roof. And it's still around. Actually, in Berlin, Ostkreuz, you find this exact installation. So I would say it's valid for anything from era 2 and up to modern days. So it should be a good fit for everyone there. And also we have the opportunity to try out a new interesting combo machine from SunLu. It's called RC-2, and the thing with this one is that it does dry the 3D models ahead of post-curing. So you speed up the drying process and thereby avoiding warp and skew of the models, and it turns out actually very good. I even cheated a bit and dried my painted acrylic paints in it, and it works fine too. So let's get started.
First, we need 3D models to kick this project off. I'm putting up a link in the upper right hand corner where you can click and then you will land on this page. It's the Model Railroad 3D product catalog. And if we click on the first theme there, the platform Rivets and Wood, we end up on CG Trader. And here you can see what the platform system will look like when ready. And it's a modular system, so this is the end piece. There are also pieces which are to be fitted without roof. Then there are pieces for roof and then also pieces for stairs going down. If you need additional accessories for platforms, there is a special kit for that. And this is what the pillar for the roof look like. So there are riveted pillars in early 1900 style. And the fences and railings are wrought iron. This is the passenger, one of them. And well, all of the parts come supported, of course, so it's just to slice and print, just to make life as easy as possible for you. So once you got the things out of the printer, it looks like this. To the right here is a very neat machine. It's a combo device called RC-2 from SunLu. It's combining post-curing with the air drying. So it has the rows of UV light both on top and in the back. And also it has this fan located in the corner of the device. And this is very useful because drying the 3D printed models ahead of post-curing is a very important step. And typically it takes overnight, but in this device only 15 minutes. So the default setting here is that it first do the drying and then you see the time for that here. It's 15 minutes of drying time, and then it automatically switches over to post-curing, and the default time for that is 5 minutes. But these can be separated to just dry or just post-cure, and to whatever time is suitable for you. So I typically remove all of the supports ahead of post-curing because I find that is the easiest way to do it. And with the supports removed, I put them back into the SunLu RC-2 and start the post-curing. post cure runs, I said 5 minutes, and after that I take the parts out and give them a coat of some primer. I use typically Tamiya Surface Primer Gray. With the primer in place and properly dry, I remove any remaining burr or leftovers from the supports. So here's the end piece, what you would have in the end of the platform. This is a platform piece without support for a roof, so it hasn't got the holes for the pillars. It's just a flat surface. And to join the parts I use fast set glue. The fast set glue do not actually bond all that fast, so I use a steel scale next to the platform pieces to keep them on a straight line until the glue sets properly. So here I'm joining now first the end piece with a piece without the roof, and then another piece which has the hole for roofs. Then I snap in this exit part, and then I glue this in place as well. Then I will have a roof part, and then I will have the next exit. This is just an example. You can print as many or as few as you like from the 3D model set. Now there will be a joint in between each section. And well, I recommend using putty to smoothen this joint out. And as you see, it's really easy. And then it's just to paint. And to paint platform, well, you can do that in many ways. You can use a paintbrush. A good idea is to use masking tape. So you separate different segments from each other on the platform. In my case here, I use an airbrush since I have one. So I spray this edge piece in concrete gray, and then the tiles next to that in white. The center strip is supposed to be tarmac or asphalt, so for that I selected a dark gray color. Now you can use spray cans, of course. If you don't have an airbrush, it works just as well. I again snap these in place, and then I apply pastel chalk powder using makeup sponges. So once I feel happy with the weathering, it's time to move on to the next stage. And well, that's the roof pillars. And they have now the foundation color of gray from the primer. To that I will just add a weathering, and this weathering consists from acrylic black paint, which I've thinned using airbrush thinner. So this is the right mix. So now I apply this over all the surfaces of the pillars, so kind of richly, so it lands everywhere in all the crevices and all around the rivets on the pillars. And the purpose with this is, of course, to highlight all the fine details on these pillars. So this is what it looks like once you have this weathering in place, or the wash. Once dry, you can insert the pillars into the platform segment, just to check that everything works. Now there is a hole through the pillars, so you can feed either very thin decoder wires or, like here, isolated copper wires through, so you can have illumination in the roof, or illuminated signs or television screens or whatever you like. With all of these bits and pieces completed, we're ready to get started on the roof. The roof is also built from segments. There is an end piece for left and right for the roof, and then there is a mid section, and they are all the same, so you can build as long or short roof as you like. And same thing here, you glue them together using fast set glue, and if you find that they're not really sticking to each other, you can use some masking tape or carpenter's tape, stretch it a bit, and this will hold it together while the glue is setting. like this. So now here's the roof. I used 4 mid sections and then 1 end piece right and 1 end piece left for my roof. The roof covering was typically tar paper, and to create that we can either use this medical tape or just ordinary black isolation tape, plastic tape, or you can use sanding paper. This is a 240 grit sanding paper. But I like this one. It's a bit pricey, but it gives a really nice result. You find it in your pharmacy or a drugstore or somewhere where they sell medical supply. I cut the tape in half, so I get the half width, and then I fit them from the edge of the roof like this, cutting excessive tape off with a razor blade or a hobby knife, and then adding next strip. Have them overlap 1 millimeter or so for each, and then finish with a full width tape on top like this. To paint it, I'm using black acrylic paint, nothing fancy at all, a very low cost hobby paint. This happens to be Mars black, but ivory black works fine as well. This paint is also satin and not matte, but it doesn't really matter. You'll see in a minute how this all turn out. I use a really wide flat brush to apply the paint. And once the paint has dried, it looks like this. So let's zoom in on this and you will see how great this actually looks. So a bit pricey, this tape, but the result is next level, I think. So why not? Then it's just to turn the roof and spray the ceiling. And for that I'm using natural wood. It's a kind of light brown color. So now the roof section is complete. Then we can just add drops of faceted glue on all of the contact points and then fit the roof onto them like this. There is a good position. Check alignment with the pillars and then, if necessary, apply a clothespin to hold everything in place until it dries. With the platform and the roof ready, we're ready to paint and assemble figures and details. These are the figures that came with this set, plus a couple of extra workers which I printed at the same time. I'm gonna paint first the skin of these figures. That's the first step after priming them. So I'm just basically painting here face and hands, since all of the figures have shoes. After that I typically paint blue, which is most commonly the color of trousers and some of the sweaters, even jackets are often blue. In total I used 3 different colors. The benches was painted in black and light brown, and then I glue it in place again using fast set glue. The 4 sitting figures and the 4 standing takes you a long way on a platform like this. You can paint them in different color schemes and turn them different ways, and they will not look all that much the same. There were also sandboxes and recycling bins with the set. The recommended CC distance between tracks to fit this platform is 94 to 98 millimeters, but you should check with the widest vehicle you have on your layout just to make sure. The platform itself is 10 millimeter high, so it's that kind of platform where you step up in the train. It's not the modern type platform where you step into the train, so that's a good thing to know. And of course, if you add cork or vinyl underlay under the tracks, I would recommend raising the surface for the platform in equal amount. Oh, this is what it looks like when ready. All the parts in place, painted and assembled. And with this drying device from SunLu, the RC-2, there is still no visible warp or skew after 1 month. So I think this combination of drying and post-curing is really useful.
All right, so not all that complicated, is it? And actually it turns out very nicely. And I looked at the resin consumption here for the platform, the figures and the roof and pillars I made, and it sums up to $3 or €3 total material cost for the resin. But then of course the 3D model set from Model 3D adds to that, and paint, putty and primer primarily, I think. So anyway, it's a very good deal, and as said, you can print as much or as little as you want to suit just the needs for your layout, and also make multiple platforms if you have several tracks going into your station. So big advantage with 3D model, 3D print of course, and you're not reliant on anyone's stock or that everyone has it in production. There is no freight to it. It's free. You just download and pop, there it is, 24 hours per day. So it's next level, I would say. I hope you like this video, and if you have use for the information provided, if you like the development we're doing on model railroading and also spreading it to new people out there, support the channel. Get over to Patreon, set up a support account there from, $1, $2, $4, $5 per month, or make a one-off donation using the PayPal dialog found in the video description. And if you're not yet a subscriber, subscribe, enable that little bell, and you will get the notification once next video gets published. Until that happens, see you.